One way to create calming spaces in your home is by adding elements that connect you with nature. In this home, they took that to a very sophisticated level.
Hi, my name is Sarah Zohar, and I'm the owner and lead designer of Sarah Z Designs. Big part of my design is always intertwined with nature, and I always felt that nature was so serene and calming. I always try to incorporate that into my interiors.
See how natural elements were used to create serene and beautiful spaces on today's SoFlo Home Project. Welcome to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Elena Capra. We're seeing a trend in home design where it's all about creating interiors that connect you with nature. Now you could achieve this by adding a few smaller accessories throughout your home, or you can go very bold and dramatic. This 8,700 square foot property has 7 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms. It's been completely updated into a luxurious getaway. We're joined today by Sarah Zohar of Sarah Z Designs. Sarah, welcome to SoFlo Home Project.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
So it's going to be great to tour this beautiful condo with you today. I know that you do a lot of biophilic themed design in your work, and this condo being one that has that combo of beautiful design and the infusion of biophilic design.
Correct. So biophilic design is love for nature. So as humans, we have an innate connection to nature. We love nature, we're nature. And what we try to kind of do is bring the exterior, the ecological culture of a place. So being in Miami, we have the beautiful expanse beaches, the oceans, and we really try to carry that into the apartment or the interiors.
Sarah, so this was a big renovation combining 2 units, and often there's challenges of where the main things like the kitchens, the baths, all of that will be situated.
This was a kitchen. It was smaller and it had sort of like a separation. This was a separate room. And so what we did was we relocated sprinkler systems, mechanical. I mean, there was nothing but slabs.
So this was a huge renovation. You widened the kitchen and of course the beautiful views. I mean, it really takes advantage of the space.
We tried to really mimic or create a relationship from the exterior into the interior. And you could see that in the color schemes that we used. A lot of the light sand colors, mimicking the sand,
right,
pulling in certain blues into the furnishings.
You brought in a little bit of that natural connection with the natural stone, with the woods, but we see some antique mirrors, some other elements that you wouldn't always think nature, but bring that touch of glam.
Correct. And then in the backsplash, it kind of mimics a little bit of the thin wave.
Has that sort of linear, correct, organic feel.
And as far as the natural, the Cristallo is very cloud-like.
Yes,
so
love this stone. It's beautiful, and it definitely does evoke that
kind of illusion. It's like a dreamlike illusion.
Yeah, no, and I love that it has a great connection. Like, we are connecting with nature. We're bringing out the principles of what biophilic design is all about, but you put your own spin on it, and it brings a very beautiful feel to the space.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Coming up, we look at the clever use of design elements and lighting to transform any. Welcome back to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Elena Capra, and we are continuing our tour of this beautiful condo with interior designer Sarah Zohar of Sarah Z Designs. So Sarah, before the break, we saw the kitchen.
Correct.
And this is a full gut renovation. You combine 2 units in this condo. Correct. And so we've got a lot of space.
Yes, a lot of it.
So we're sort of in the great room and dining room, sort of combined area. The formal dining room is adjacent to the living room. This sophisticated gathering space has one of the most dramatic uses of natural elements in this home.
So it was very important for the client to have an entertainable space, and we wanted to go with an open concept. So my original vision was to have an open dining room to living room, piano bar area. Only to find out that I had these 2 huge, humongous weight-bearing columns that sustained the whole slab.
Design-wise, they can be hard,
right,
but they can be beautiful.
So what we did was we kind of incorporated it into making it a server area.
I love this.
And we made it functional.
Playing to it where it is a beautiful accent rather than something just structural is what we love to see and share with our viewers. But this particular condo, you kind of interwove some biophilic designs connecting with nature as well, and a lot of the textures and things we're seeing here.
I always loved nature, and my inspiration always came from nature. It feels good, it's serene, and just like in nature, in the agate wall, you really see the interlocking biomorph design of nature.
I love agate. It's beautiful and it just has such a nice flow of colors. I mean, we've got all of these natural blues and browns and rust tones and everything else.
So we kind of played on that organized complexity in the lights, in the wall coverings. Even if you see the small cocktail tables, they're tree trunks, but the detail is really nature's organized complexity.
Now, do you have any sort of advice, if we would say for our viewers, of mixing materials from nature? Is there a certain formula?
I think just follow your heart and your gut. So what makes you happy? When you sit on the beach and the water is very calming, or you love the sand colors, pull those colors into your home. I usually tend to keep accent colors like in the rugs or in the pillows, or maybe a blue accent chair.
So not overdoing the color?
Not overdoing, keeping it light and airy.
Well, it's a great look, and we've got a lot more to see. We're going to travel down this beautiful hallway and check out what you did there and what's hidden behind some of those slats on the wall. But first, let's check in with our friends from FHIA and see what they have going on today. So Sarah, there is so much to see, this beautiful hallway. I'm just like peeking down. Lots of great textures continuing throughout the project.
Correct.
Now, what have we got going on over here? I see some more textured panels, some 3D floral, bringing in the biophilic, right?
Yes. I wanted to carry in the natural elements.
Yes.
So we carried in the oak, but it was also very important to incorporate the wood with the water feel.
Yes.
So I designed with Alex Turco a beautiful raised panel that looks like running water, but very subdued, kind of like dew.
It's all about sort of these subtle touches.
Correct.
And when you say water, it evokes the feel of water without being a water feature.
It was very important for me because when you walk into this apartment, you had this long hallway. It looked like a tunnel, and I didn't want a tunnel vision.
Right, you need to add something.
Exactly.
Amp it up, and you certainly did that.
Yeah, so I didn't want to stare at a blank canvas at the end of the tunnel, so I found this amazing viso light that was like a cluster of pebbles, and it was backlit. Again, going back to nature's organized complexity.
Absolutely, and this is not just detail on the wall. There are some things potentially hidden behind here?
Correct. One of the major features was to hide the powder room and the laundry room behind the fluted columns.
Love that.
I didn't want to see any doors, so one of the main features was to do frameless doors throughout the house.
The powder room is beautiful. I took a peek before we started here today.
So I used the natural elements of marble throughout. I also continued with the same cristallo throughout the apartment, including the custom-built vanity into the powder room.
So you carried that stone throughout.
I carried that stone throughout.
But you've done some other things in other bathrooms here as well.
Into one of the other bathrooms, I carried a bamboo feel. It was very hard to install because it comes in individual pieces.
Sometimes,
but it was really worth the effort. And that bathroom to me feels like bathing in the Amazon, like in the dark with bamboo, and like it's just so tranquil, so calm. And really, that's when science comes in and it says, you know, this reduces stress into the design.
Well, I'm looking forward to sharing with our viewers more ways that you've incorporated. We've got some great spaces coming up the tour, and we are going to do that when we come back. Coming up next, we explore a beautiful entertainment space / office on SoFlo Home Project. Welcome back to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Elena Capra, and we are continuing our tour of this gorgeous condo with interior designer Sarah Zohar from Sarah Z Designs. Sarah, so we have toured some of the areas of this condo that you've designed. Now, this was a huge renovation.
Right.
A lot was moved around. You could find 2 units. But you've managed to continue to bring biophilic design throughout, as well as this very sophisticated look.
Thank you.
And this room I love because this is like a combination of 2 different functions in one space.
Correct.
On the opposite side of the dining room, we find the entertainment space / home office. This is the ultimate work and hangout space.
So this room was to serve as a theater room as well as an office.
And we've got a little bar here.
We have a little bar.
Full on
correct.
entertainment, and when not entertaining, work.
Correct.
I love that.
It really worked well because when their grandchildren come, they could sit, they could enjoy, watch a movie. It becomes like a family social room.
And now we've got a lot of natural elements throughout, so we're not ignoring our biophilic theme.
Correct.
I see a lot of crystals and things that allude to water on the wall.
Yes. Behind his desk is a Philip Jeffries wallpaper. I loved it because the movement in the wallpaper kind of reminded me of water.
And it has a subtle sheen too.
It
which
does,
picks up.
right? That wallpaper was kind of the grounding point for all these colors working.
You
well
started
together.
with this,
Exactly.
correct? Okay, so to our viewers, when you're thinking about kind of getting this whole look of a room together, pick that one central piece, whether it's a wall covering, a fabric, a furniture
Right,
piece,
and it's like a wedding. Think of a bride. You have one main focal point, and then you have the bridesmaids, so they're like the fill-ins. And then as far as the accessories, I kind of went with the crystals, the natural elements, even bringing in the animals into the little ostrich eggs that were hand-painted, which goes back to nature and biophilic.
So,
design.
Like we talked about before, sometimes it's some literal pieces. We've got crystals, we've got, all sorts of natural elements. But then the materials that allude to that, like the wall covering, of course. And really kind of seeing the way you incorporated the biophilic design and, of course, combined 2 units to create one fabulous space. Next, we have more beautiful spaces designed with nature in mind on SoFlo Home Project. Welcome back to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Elena Capra. We're continuing our tour of this gorgeous condo designed by Sarah Zohar from Sarah Z Design. So, Sarah, we have made several stops through some of the rooms throughout this condo, all beautiful. And now we're in the primary suite.
Correct.
The primary suite takes up one corner of this property. It's a beautiful and spacious room with amazing water views.
So this is actually one of my favorite rooms in the condo. What we did with the bed wall was we actually custom designed this dolphin pattern.
Ah, I love that. I love the way it mirrors to create almost a shape of its own.
Right. So she loved dolphins, and we said, what a great idea. And we incorporated an Arte Moire wall covering behind that looked like the reflection of the water.
It's very beautiful.
Thank you. And also, we incorporated the upholstered panels, which kind of give that metallic but water feel, and we carried it through into the rugs.
This room is nice. I like the way you've got a small seating area here and then a completely separate, almost living room area.
Listening to the clients, they don't watch TV in their bed, so they wanted a separate TV area. We created the ceiling with a drop-down TV lift.
Yes. I always love that detail because it leaves everything open for, of course, the stunning views.
The stunning views of the ocean.
Sarah, so I'd love to touch on the flooring choices because throughout I've seen this beautiful wood porcelain and the pattern changes.
It was a combination of the wood and the sand color, and we wanted...
Feels like the beach.
Exactly, and we wanted to keep it consistent throughout. We even carried it outdoors onto the balconies.
And then as you turn the corner, there's more tile variety because we've got a lot of beautiful water jet in almost a floral print.
Correct.
And of course some glam because it is quite glamorous as well. I love that.
So we started with the floral print in the pendant, and we kind of carried it through into the tile wall and into the faucets. We did Le Pétale.
I saw those. I love the handles.
And then what I did was I actually custom designed the pulls for the cabinetry to mimic the tile on the wall.
That's what design's all about. So our viewers at home, it's really about the details.
Correct.
Well, I absolutely loved this tour. We've gotten to see so much of your beautiful work. And not only that, but learn a little bit more about some of the ways you can bring in biophilic design almost naturally.
Right.
So thank you so much for sharing your work.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me on your show.
And now let's take a look at what design inspiration we have planned for you next week on SoFlo Home Project.